Turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
I hate you for that last minute name change, by the way. If you are listening and you cannot see it, she changed her name to M to the CD. Please,
MC the
please.
D. Oh, don't you got to say it right. Do it right.
No,
Do it
no,
right. Do it
I am
right.
not.
M
No.
to the C D. MC the D D. USA playing.
My God. I have to hear that so much now that I am
It's
sick of it.
it's beautiful. It's magnificent. Bars. You jealous? You jealous, Franny? It
If you
feels
if
like
you
you're
can
jealous.
if you can't tell by now, we are clearly here to talk about Succession. So, um, I'm going to catch you off guard with a question really quick. The
Uh,
question about who should be CEO is kind of boring to me. The
oh.
question about which kid you like the best is kind of boring to me. Imagine this: there's a body of water, a pond, a lake, whatever. Just imagine
Mhm.
it.
Mhm. Got it.
You're walking past this body of water. You see
Mhm.
Connor, you see
Mhm.
Siobhan,
Mhm.
you see Roman, you see Kendall, and they're all drowning. You have
Mhm.
enough rope to toss to one kid to save them.
Mhm.
Who are you saving?
Ooh. Okay. My first instinct was to say Kendall, but Kendall has been in a situation, and so I'm going to do what he did in said situation. So he drowns. Con- Connor, I mean, all right. So at this point, I have to see who would be the most beneficial to Earth, right? Like
They're they're they're
who would
drowning. D, save them! Hurry!
can Siobhan, because she's a woman. Honestly, God,
Okay,
that's the only reason why. That's it. That
she's
is the only reason why.
she's a terrible woman. But anyway, I asked that because I just wanted to ask the question, but in a different way. Of course, this show is on its third season now, and everybody talks about. By the way, let me step back and say they're all terrible people, but which one is the least terrible? Um, my
Mm.
my my answer would be my answer would be Roman.
The least terrible is Roman, just because Roman's just terrible, like as a person, not like for the Earth.
No, I actually
Well,
think Roman is see Roman is up there as one of the most terrible siblings, but he's the one who knows he's terrible, so that kind of makes it better. Odd enough.
I forgot about the Rocket. Oh yeah, the Roman. They're all terrible though. They're all
They're all
terrible.
terrible.
They're all terrible.
All right,
But
so yeah, my next
okay,
my,
go
my
ahead.
next my next question for you, obviously because I didn't think we would be here, because this is a show I attempted to watch many times. I couldn't get into it. Same with you. So let's talk about like how this show grabbed us because we're clearly on board now. Like you and I think we both like enjoy this show on like just a different level. So let's talk a bit about like how we got here and what made us fans of the show. So you go first.
I give credit to you because I watched the show because I'm so used to more cerebral TV shows. And I don't mean
Mhm.
that like to sound superior to anybody, but I kind of watch a lot of shows where you have to where there may be things beneath the surface. So I'm already like trying to figure out, all right, what are the writers putting in there? Where are the Easter eggs? Where is this and that? And I was doing that with Succession, but I have no what's the word, expertise or not really enough knowledge for that medium. I didn't even know what they were doing. I didn't know what their job was. I had no idea what was going on. So the jargon was getting lost. And I'm like, well, I'm just not going to get it because this doesn't interest me. But you running was like, just watch it like it's mess, like it's a soap opera. And when I turned my brain on, I was like, oh, this is a mess because it's just mess. It's like these are really like my stories. And we say it all the time, but it feels like my soap opera.
Yeah, Logan Roy is Victor Newman to
He
me.
is. That's what it is. It's like, or Stefano, like one of the two. But
Yeah,
he's just awful, and he's awful in this very old school, just evil kind of way. Like just bad, right? Like
mm,
he's just a bad person, but it's different than the villains we're so used to now, who are evil, but like because they want world domination, or they just want to do this, or they're just horrible people to women. He's just evil just because he can be, right? So I just, and then he's so bad to his kids, and you see how that evil trickles down, but just in a different way. So seriously, what it was is when I just turned my brain off and was like, I'm just going to watch this and not try to figure anything out. That's when it clicked. I watch it just like I watch any other soap opera or honestly reality show or anything else when I want my brain off. And you pay a little more attention because there is a plot. But mwah, I love it.
yeah, similar path with me because it's weird that Adam McKay and Will Ferrell, like they did Step Brothers, but then Adam McKay somewhere along the line says, "Hey, I want to do political stuff," and I'm really not a fan of like The Big Short or Vice, like not my things. I hate that zooming in camera
Mm,
thing, and I'm glad they backed off of it a little bit, but um, you could kind of sense a shift in the show. So like episode one, by the way, is like one of my least favorite pilots of all time. I'll just be frank. That episode
all
is just
time.
like
All time.
like it is just
I literally said, y'all, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if I'm supposed to know what's happening, but I refuse to watch this episode again. Like
yeah.
honestly, that's what I said. I was like, if there's something in this episode I missed, y'all need to tell me. If the rest of the show will be like this, you need to tell me because I refuse to watch it again. I will not watch it again. It was that bad. It was awful.
But
And like you said, that Zoom was just it was terrible. It was a choice. A horrible, horrible choice.
but here's what happened though, because I'm also gonna throw something at you that you probably don't realize. Logan Roy was actually supposed to die off in season one.
Mm.
So here's the thing. Like you could
Yes.
feel a shift in the show because episode one, it's almost like this, oh, we're gonna examine the bourgeoisie and how they treat the regular folks, but really they're all waspy, and when they're behind closed doors, they're just like the regular folks. Like you could sense a shift that says, like, hey, like we're gonna try to stop being deep and we're just gonna focus on the mess. And that's when it became enjoyable for me because to me, and I don't mean this like pejoratively, like you hear me say the term like B movie all the time, right?
Mhm.
To me, like this is like the top of the B shows. Like it because it actually means like absolutely nothing, but it does it so well. And that's when the show got enjoyable for me. Just like the like because really like I'm here for like the backstabbing, the constant like backstabbing. So once the show kind of like found its like footsteps and its beats, that's when I started to enjoy it. So yeah, the latter half of season one was good. Season two, phenomenal, and by all accounts, episode one of season three. What do you think about that? I think it's pretty good, right?
I'm excited. Before we go though, what before we get to three, what was the moment in season one that shifted for you? Like what at
S-
what point did you realize, oh, this is just mess?
The board meeting, like the when we got to the board meeting where Kendall was running out in the streets and he didn't make it there in time, and Logan was like, "That's your best shot. Fuck off." By the way, there's a supercut of Logan Roy saying "fuck off." I think he says it over 300 times in the total in the show in totality. But no, like that's when I was like, "Oh, okay. Like I see what this show is gonna be now." So that's when I really started to enjoy it because I was kind of at a place where I was like, "All right, if it doesn't pick up here, I'm off." But nah, that's what renewed my interest.
It was that and the slap for me. When Logan slapped that little boy, I was like, what white people
Look,
miss
correction, D.
is
He did not
this?
slap the boy. He hit him in the head with a
Sorry,
can.
sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing,
He
but he
threw a
hit him.
can at him. You right.
He
It
hit
was
him
low. It
in the.
was It was Roman that he slapped. My bad.
Yeah, he hit him
You
with
are
a can of
correct.
cranberry sauce.
Because they were playing a game and the little
Yeah.
boy didn't play it right and Logan got mad and he threw a full can, may I add, of was it cranberry sauce? It was something.
Yes.
And he hit that baby in the head with it.
And by the way, I apologize that I'm laughing. I do not condone
Oh, it's
Thanksgiving
TV.
violence.
It's
I do
TV.
not condone Thanksgiving violence. Like, no, I do not condone it. But hitting somebody in the head with a can of cranberry sauce is pretty funny. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And because it's fictional, I can laugh at it. Boom.
And
There, there.
he did it without even thinking. Like there was no part of him that thought this is probably not a good idea. He just
In
did it
his
off pure rage
in his
over a
defense,
game.
if we must defend Logan Roy, like he was still kind of loopy then, so I'll kind of give him a pass. He was still a bit loopy. Yeah.
Mm, I think you're giving him a little more credit than he deserves, but we'll go with it. But go ahead,
We'll go. We'll
season
go.
3.
Yeah. So what'd you think?
I liked it a lot. I was excited, and I think too when you've been waiting for a show for a while, it's it's always fun when they come back kind of like with a bang.
Mhm.
And the good thing about this show is that it felt like an hour, but it was a good hour to me. It didn't feel like one of those
Exactly.
things where there's a whole lot of fluff or whatever else. So it felt like it was the whole hour, but I enjoyed the whole hour.
Yeah, that's actually like a really good point because like we jump straight in and get the ball rolling and gesundheit by the way. But yeah, we,
Thank
but
you.
yeah we jump like straight in and like you said, this it really doesn't waste a single moment. Like there's not a moment where I was like feeling the urge to, like pull down my phone. And by the way, like I want to also credit this show. Like the dialogue is excellent. So even
Mhm.
in like those slow moments, the dialogue is just like so witty and just funny that you're still engaged. So even like the slow moments like still keep you engaged. But yeah, I really liked it. And I want to talk about where I think we're going, but first, um, let's back up to like how we got here because I recently rewatched the finale of season 2, and there's two moments I wanna point out, like because you sent me the message, and then as I was rewatching, I was like, oh, I didn't notice that the first time. So the kiss when Kendall kisses Logan, like as you were because you recently watched it, so this was on your mind. Like, did you like think, oh, betrayal or
Judas. That's the first thing.
mhm,
That's the thing that popped in my mind. Judas.
mhm,
The only thing that was missing was the silver. But yeah, I'm like I still didn't think he was gonna do it though, because Kendall was so broken the
right?
whole season. Like he just really was just like a puppet, and not even a puppet. He was more like a whipping boy
Mhm,
the whole season, and I just didn't think he had it in him. And I thought, oh man, he's really just going to be sad and just go. And I thought it may have been a play on betrayal because I did think Judas, but I was thinking more so that Logan was the Judas, not that Kendall was gonna be. But oh, buddy, was I
mhm.
wrong?
And
So
also,
wrong.
the second thing. So Kendall does a press conference, and in the middle, he like does a heel turn. He basically says like his dad knew about all of this. He has the evidence to prove it. Then the episode ends with a camera on Logan, and Logan kind of smirks. So I'm gonna bring up like because people do this on Twitter all the time. Shout out to Chuck, like how they say Batman beats up his villains instead of killing them, tosses them into Arkham Asylum, and then when they break out, he does it all over again. Like to quote Logan, do you think he welcomes the big dick contest? Like, cause he clearly like he was like, cause that smirk was weird, right? Like you're getting betrayed, but you're also kind of excited by this.
Okay, so here's the weird thing. I when I saw it, I lost my mind. First of all, I really just lost it. I'm like, oh my god, worth it. Like seriously, I've never seen a climax done so well because it honestly made me say totally worth it. Even that first episode, because that first episode is tough.
Mhm.
It is tough, but it was totally worth it just to really feel the satisfaction of what happened. Now, when I sent you the message, I said, "Did they have this planned?" You said yes. I think you thought I meant Greg and
Oh, yeah,
Ken.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I meant Ken and Logan because my thought was that
Mm.
Logan, remember he was saying, "I'll step down." And they were like, "No, no, 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 it's not a good idea. Somebody else should do it." I was thinking that Ken and Logan had come to some kind of like fakeness, and that Ken was going to say all this stuff about Logan, forcing Logan to have to step down and then it blow over and then he go back to where he was. But then I realized, no, that doesn't make sense because this is bad. But I think the smirk was pride in a weird and very twisted way. It was pride. And I think he felt pride because he feels like he is the reason that Logan was able to do it with that last comment when he told him, "You're not a killer. You
Yeah,
need to
you
be
don't
a
have the
killer.
killer in you. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be a killer." And once he realized, oh, well, maybe he is, it was pride in, I raised him to be this way, which is the worst thing ever because you shouldn't be proud that your son is awful. But hey,
Right.
you wanted a killer, you got one.
Yeah, it reminds me of, like, the last 30 seconds of Whiplash. If you haven't seen that movie, please watch it. It's amazing. But yeah, it reminds me of that because it's like in a sadistic way, like, ah, that's my boy. Like
Mhm.
in the most oddest sadistic way, like this man just firmly shoved the knife in your back, implicated you for like a scheme, the scheme of all schemes. You could possibly face prison time, but you are excited by the fight.
Should face prison time, may I
Oh
add. You
yeah,
absolutely should.
no question about it. Yes.
Absolutely should. And it's your child. Like, don't forget that part. All of this was done by your offspring. So, and that's what made him proud. I mean, he really did smile like, hey, there it is. But I think you're right. It's a constant back and forth, specifically between the two of them.
Mhm.
And I think both of them like it though.
They do.
They both like it, and it's like how they love each other. Just all of them have a very weird relationship, and Kendall and Logan are like they just like pissing each other off. Like you said, it's just like the pissing contest. It's like okay, everybody's dick is big, but they're like, no, mine is bigger,
Also,
and
did
I'm
you
going to prove
notice
it.
Also, did you notice that even though Kendall was kind of like the puppet and do boy in season two, he was progressively plotting the backstabbing the whole time? Like
I
because
did.
he gave cousin Greg the condo. Cousin Greg was like, "Hey, I kind of might have something," and then at the end, cousin Greg is there holding the papers.
I might maybe have something, sorta,
Sorta,
kinda,
kinda.
but it's like he was what Tom could have been to him
Mhm.
because he was still like, "Hey, I need you to do this for me. Hey, I need you to get this Coke for me. Hey, this Coke is awful. Hey, you need to be better." But it's like he was emotionally abusive because it was one of those things where he was mean to him and then he love bombed him. And Greg was okay with that because he's just Greg. And I still think he's smart, but
No,
but
he
he is vexing. Oh, he vexes me so
Because the
much.
great like watching and what rewatching this show has been like so enjoyable because you see the scene where cousin Greg is in the restroom and he's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. But he's testing the range of his
Wife.
phone. Yeah, yeah.
I mean the phone, yes.
So cause like that's why cousin Greg is my favorite character because like surface level he looks like a total doofus, but he's actually like very bright. And it's hilarious because he's like I think someone called him like Frankenstein's monster once, like because he appears to be an idiot, but he's actually like yeah, he's very like aware of like the situation because
Mhm.
that's kind of why when he inserted himself into the family, he was like, I'm not gonna leave one way or another. I'm just gonna go where I think, the success is gonna happen. So yeah, very, very smart character.
He's not devoted enough to anybody and he's not estranged from anybody either. So
Mhm,
he's the perfect just kind of hanger on.
mhm,
I guess who he is. He's the perfect groupie because he could really
mhm.
go anywhere. And his loyalty really shouldn't be questioned by anybody. Now it might be a little weird because he kept those papers, but
Yeah, I got a question to ask for you later, but I'm gonna hold on to that. Just know that we're gonna come back to this. But next thing I want to ask you, and I can't even ask this with a straight face. I it's almost a rhetorical question. So season three picks up. Kendall leaves the press conference. He's arranging, like he says, he wants to do tweets. He wants to do book deals. He wants to do op eds. He wants this. He wants that. He wants his name out there. So the question I have for you, and once again, I can't even keep a straight face when I ask it. Could Kendall motivations possibly be?
go ahead with the question though. Go ahead. Can Kendall's
I,
motivations be what?
Did he possibly have like good intentions?
No.
Of course not. Okay, I just
No.
just want to make sure yeah.
No. Kendall is getting the fame that he wants doing, and it just happens to be by doing a quote good thing.
Mhm.
Because if he wasn't the one on the chopping block, that expose never would have happened.
Right.
If it had been Tom, which I kind of want to talk about too, because that's weird. If it had been Tom, then Tom would just be in jail somewhere, probably. Well,
Hmm.
probably. And they just be fine and everybody would be good and he'd be, the whipping boy still. But this allowed him to not be the whipping boy, to finally see that Logan really does not, like, Logan will really throw you in the ocean full of sharks. He will. So there you go. And then he didn't have to be like he got from under the blackmail too. So as far as in good intentions, no, I don't think I'll say this. I don't think he did that for the women at all. It was 100% for himself. It wasn't even for
Yeah.
Waste. What's it called? Waystar. That's the name of the company. It wasn't even for
Yeah.
Waystar. It was legit for Kendall. That's it.
Because Lisa Sinala, who is the new addition to the show, she says this is going to be tricky because you want to implicate your father without implicating yourself and doing enough damage to the company. So when your father is out, you can take over.
Hmm.
I'm going to repeat this. So Kendall wants to say his father is guilty
Hmm.
without damaging the company or
Hmm.
implicating himself, although he was acting directly underneath his father. So apparently, the information jumped from Kendall and went straight to his father. But when all of that happens, he wants to take over the company as well while maintaining the shareholders.
Yes, because this isn't about anything. The culture of the company isn't in question at all. Because what Kendall wants everybody to believe is this was only Logan. It had nothing to
Mhm.
do with the culture. It had nothing to do with the fact that this is how it went at Waystar, because Waystar's fine. As long as Logan's not around, Waystar can be this great place. But we already know Waystar's whack anyway. Like as a whole,
Yeah,
like as
yeah,
a whole entity. But Kendall just wants to be. He just wants the crown. That's it.
that's all. But
But that's different.
speaking of, we're currently fighting for the crown. Um, so the new plan is Logan steps back temporarily, acts from the shadows, but in the meantime, which if you know anything about the show, you know it's a stupid ass idea because everyone wants to be at the top and they're gonna push Logan out. But I digress. So he wants to work from behind the shadows while pushing forward a new CEO. The choices are um, let's start with Tom Wamscan first. He's not even an option. So the choices are Shiv, Roman, Jerry, and Frank and Connor aren't an option either because for some reason Logan hates Frank and Connor, but he constantly keeps them around. I don't understand it, but whatever. They're not options either. So the options are Jerry, Roman, and Shiv. So D, in this situation, put on your evil hat. Who do you think would have made the most sense for Logan, like in this
Siobhan.
situation? You think
Siobhan.
so?
Because she's a child. But I think honestly, if I had to pick, I would have picked Jerry too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's that. I honestly think that was the best decision, and not because because Shiv couldn't get her friend, but just because Shiv, she's kind of impulsive, and she's a lot like Logan, and I don't know. I want so bad to root for Shiv, but she's so awful. Like she's not a good person.
Yeah, if Shiv was a boy, her name would be Logan Jr.
She would definitely be Logan Jr. Like she would. The whole name. You know how sometimes
Yes.
people name their kid something and don't make them a junior. She would be a junior,
Right.
but she'd be just like him. But she's just she. I don't think she's it. And I think somebody said it. She thinks she's smarter than she is, and I agree with
Mhm.
that because I think she does, and she has the juice. Like she could be great. She's just I don't know if it's the privilege, maybe the money, like the she doesn't have to be great because she doesn't have to worry about not winning because she's a rich white woman.
So to tell you everything you need to know about her, she's pretty much a self-described Democrat, but she is taking over Fox News.
Yeah.
Like, so
There you
yeah,
go.
so yeah, all you need to know about it. So,
Mhm.
going
She
back
can be
to
whatever Logan wants her to be too. And
exactly.
she speaks up for herself a little bit more, but she's not that much different from Kendall. The difference between her and Kendall is that Kendall has a drug problem and she doesn't, that we
Mhm.
know of.
Yeah, she's just addicted to actors, um, but yeah,
Addicted to
but yeah. So Jerry is initially appointed after you mentioned that you know Shiv blew the deal with Lisa because Lisa's now working for
Kendall,
Kendall. Kendall, yeah, Kendall. I forgot his
which was
name. I was
smart
gonna, yeah,
on his part, by the way. That was a very
yeah,
smart move.
yeah. It actually would have been smart to get both lawyers, but I feel like the other lawyer they mentioned is gonna come to play. But whatever. She'll built the dream team. Shout out to Robert Kardashian. But I want to ask you another important, very important question. So
Mhm.
we kind of have our teams. We have Team Kendall, and underneath Kendall is cousin Greg, and now we have the attorney Lisa, played by
Mhm.
Sanaa Lathan. Um, Carolina is kind of in the middle. Like Kendall kicked her out, so we don't know which side she's gonna go on.
And she's going with
Then
Logan.
right, then we have Shiv, we have Roman, we have Jerry, all underneath Logan. So we have our sides. Who flips as the show goes on?
Frank's gonna flip for sure. I feel it in my bones, and he may not, but I feel like he's going to. Wasn't he with Kendall
Hmm.
when they tried to do the coup in the first place? That's why Logan doesn't trust him, right?
Right, right.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Logan flipped. Shiv, I don't know what she's about to do. I feel like she's about to do something. Because she's mad at Logan, but it may be just to get back in his graces. So she could be a double agent. I don't know. I think since Jerry's CEO, I think she's going to be solid. And since Roman loves her in whatever weird way he loves her, I think he's going to stay over there. So as far as split, I think Frank maybe. Wait, I don't know. Hugo, I don't know. What do you think?
So, did I ever tell you that? Okay, so when you started watching Succession, excuse me, did I ever tell you that the end of the title sequence was like a spoiler? The
Were
end where
were they just standing together?
no, where Logan is sitting at the table and you see who's at the table.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
All right, so allow me to show you a poster for season 3. All right, so what do we have here?
All right, I see Kendall. I see. Oh, is that Tom over
That is Tom Wamsgans.
there? That's Tom over there. I hadn't even
But
considered Tom because I
D,
forget about him so much.
who is furthest back?
Connor ass.
So how do you think Connor is gonna come into this?
Connor might just jump in because he's kind of just been in the background. Like the whole time, he's also a do boy for Logan. He just was never in the mix. So I guess for all intents and purposes, he's clean.
Here's what I think is gonna happen. So um Logan has the plan of, where we're just gonna fight, litigation, fight this out until we have a new president, and whoever the attorney general is, they'll fix this. Don't worry, we're Republicans. We're gonna win. I think Gil Evis is going to be going so strong in the presidential race that Tom is going. Excuse me, Connor is going to primary. He's going to run it. He's going to run as president to intentionally stop this, and also with Tom Wamsgans, like obviously, like at the end of season 2, like he and Shiv are kind of having friction, so he would be in the place where he wants to like fuck her over now.
And I wouldn't. I, she's not a. She's not a good wife. I
He's
mean,
not a good anything.
she's not a
Yeah.
good person. So I, Shiv is a master manipulator. That's first and foremost. So I've never understood why she married Tom. And like I didn't get it. And I'm like, why is she marrying him? But then she does that thing too where she love bombs him. So she does her thing and she tells him she wants this open relationship. And then she professes her love all the time. So I feel like she feels something for him. I just don't know what it
Uh,
is.
it's like I don't even know like what the term for this would be, but it's almost like a reverse beard. It's almost like she knows like, oh, in order for me to be a successful woman, I have to have a husband.
So he's just a placeholder. Like
Yeah.
he's arm candy. He's the missing piece for the perfect family, right? Because
But at the same time, why Tom? Because he's like the
why
most
Tom?
he's the most swaggerless like,
But maybe that's why
I
he's
guess.
swaggerless, and so she doesn't have to. Well, I guess in her mind, she doesn't have to worry about him finding somebody better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he's pliable. So she can bend him however she wants.
Mhm.
And he's oddly very, very I won't say oddly because she's his wife. She's supposed to be devoted to, but he's very devoted to her now. Now again, we don't know what he's going to do. But right now it seems like he is legit team, he's team us.
Yeah.
So that's why. But I wouldn't be surprised because two things surprised me. One, how casually she was like, "Oh yeah, Tom fits." When they were trying to find the pound of flesh or the what did he
Mhm.
say? He said a body or something like that, a blood sacrifice. She just threw him out there, and I was like, "Wow."
They needed a
Like he was,
skull. That was the term. They needed a skull.
yeah, like he was just like he was, and I know they were throwing their siblings in there too. I get that, but
This
like
is
this
her
is your
husband.
husband. So she's just like Tom fits. I mean, it works. But then it came back around, and then she begs her dad not to do it. Specifically, don't let it be Tom for me, please. And she sacrificed her brother instead. So it's odd. I don't understand. I don't. Because I'm like,
So
you were just like, this makes sense. Because I just knew that's who it was gonna be. I knew it was gonna be Tom. I'm like, Tom is
mhm,
gonna be the one. And then he's gonna throw everybody under the bus once he goes to jail. Like he's not
mhm,
gonna be able to cut it, and he's gonna throw everybody under the bus, and it's just gonna all go to hell. And I'm assuming that's why Logan was probably like, "Yeah, this probably ain't a good idea. He ain't gonna cut it
mhm.
because he knows enough. He knows too much, and then he won't have anything to lose if
Which
he
is
goes to jail."
exactly why I think he flips. Exactly why. So Tom knows enough to where he could possibly be offered immunity. Like, and this is the legal route. No, he
Mm,
could be offered immunity if he flips against the family.
against Logan.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah,
Um,
I definitely think Tom flips. I think Roman is like firmly on like Team Logan. Like I don't think that's ever changing. But I do think within Team Logan there's going to be friction with between Shiv and obviously Roman as there always is.
hmm. Okay. Well, speaking of Roman and Shiv, how petty do you have to be to call your sister and sing a song to her about not getting the job? It was hilarious stuff. But again, she deserved it. I hardly ever feel bad for Shiv though. Like
Nah,
hardly ever.
nah.
Never. Um, Roman and Jerry,
Oh my
she
god.
seems okay, I will say this. She seems really smart though. And anything that happens with her and Roman, especially at this point, would be messy. And like she said, she's gotten to where she is because she avoids mess. This would be the biggest pile of mess she could get into. But he like asked her, shouldn't they get married? I mean, I'm sure he was joking, but still, he wants to have
So
sex with her now.
all right, so let me go into Roman. Like he's clearly a sexual deviant.
Oh yeah,
Just I
absolutely.
guess what most people would consider vanilla sex does not excite him. And we then learn he has an Oedipal complex, so that's why he is attracted to Jerry because as she berates him, it reminds him of his own mother. Ah.
It's too much. It's too much. And they also like gave us an indication of that with the whole thing about the cage, the game they played where they
Mhm,
lock him in the cages. So he's been like this for a while, for a
mhm.
while. But he, again, it's not just Jerry. Because at one point I thought it was just like, oh, okay, he just likes Jerry. But like you said, he's a legit like textbook deviant because when he was talking to his girlfriend, I guess well, she's a real beard. But anyway, he was like, we have to make it like it's wrong. We have to do something that's wrong. So like you said, he is such a complex individual. He really is. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think honestly, because I was talking to Tammy about this, but I think out of like all of the kids, he might be the most messed up because like we learned that like like Logan beat him when he was a kid, like sent him off to military school. Um, so he puts on like he's okay and like he deflects through like using comedy, but like he's very screwed up. Like he may not, try to remedy it, like find a remedy through drugs, like
Kendall.
um like Kendall would, but nah, he's screwed up.
And you can tell that the beatings were legit because the way Kendall immediately
Hmm.
took up for him when Roman hit him, as an adult. I think he like knocked his tooth out.
Hmm.
He Kendall like it I guess the protector jumped out and it didn't matter who Logan was or what, like he immediately was like, do not touch him.
Because they were beefing then, and he just jumped in
And he did,
immediately. He was
yeah, it
like,
was
"Yeah,
like there was no yeah, that's I think that's the craziest part because he and Roman weren't even on good terms, yeah. But the fact that you hit my like he hit his brother and all that shit went out the window. It was just like, I don't care who you are because you are my father, that's fine, but do not touch him. It's like he took over as I am going to protect him with anything I have right now. And there was something about that I think stood out to me too because Kendall wasn't afraid of him in that moment.
hmm."
As much as he's been through and as much as he bows to him for everything else, when it came to Roman, he had no fear whatsoever. And it has to be a situation where it's like he's had to have done it before. It must
Right."
have gotten to a point where it got so bad, Kendall stood up to him, and that was the thing. And because at that point, Logan was just kind of like, okay, okay, okay. And then he gaslighted him, which was
Yeah.
hard. Like that was tough. It was really hard. It was sad because Roman has all this fake vibrato, which we know is fake, but the way he just kind of almost excused him for it and let him get out of it and was just like, because I even really hit you? Did I hit you? And he's like, oh no, nothing. I'm
Oh
like,
no,
you
no.
what is happening? And it's just it's sad. It's so very sad to see it that way because it's obvious. The only person that hasn't dealt with his wrath in that way is Shiv.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping, because I don't know, but I'm
I
just hoping.
mean, nah, Shiv hasn't. That's Logan Jr.
Well, yeah,
And
and
Shiv is also the baby, right?
yeah, she's the baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. It's just Logan's he's awful, and I want bad things for him. I don't want anything good for Logan. I just don't.
No,
Did his wife leave him? Because I know he was saying he missed her. Is she gone, or you think she coming back?
no.
Marsha, is that her name?
I think,
Marsha.
yeah. I think Marsha is out. Which because Kendall says he was naming names. He was like get this person. And then he was like get Marsha,
He
and
did.
I was like
He did. He
hmm
did. He sure
hmm
did. Cause I thought I heard it, and I was like, "Nah, that can't be Martin. It can't be that Marsha." But
hmm.
maybe it is.
Because
Maybe it
all right,
is.
because we do know Marsha. Well, actually, I'll take that back. We don't know much about Marsha's past.
Mm-mm.
But she knows every single thing about Logan.
Absolutely. And when we say, I think she knows everything
Everything.
about Logan. Um, how we feel about Naomi?
Naomi's cool. Almost too cool for. I mean, almost too cool for Kendall, in my opinion.
Okay, so when I watch TV shows, I think I learned something about myself when it comes to this particular thing. People don't hold grudges on television, like at all. At
Ah,
all. They move on. And I'm not a person that will hold a grudge for a long time, but I sit with it for whatever amount of time so that you know that you've committed an offense, right? So I think the thing that made me so angry about Naomi was the wine
yeah, yeah,
because Rava is doing all of this stuff for Kendall. I'm already allowing this girl in my house, right? Which is weird in itself. And then you tell Greg to open this wine. You see, I'm freaking out about it. Like she's really upset. And then Naomi just kind of laughs, like, okay, here are
yeah.
the glasses. And I'm just kind of like, this is very nice of her because I would have cussed her out and told her to get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, they kind of showed up at Rava's place unannounced too,
And she
and
popped up.
then
Like,
Kiddo was like, "Yeah, I'll be like 4 or 5 hours."
yeah. Oh, and is it okay if Naomi comes? Because we got a thing going. It's just weird. And it seems like Rava is like she's probably been through, I wouldn't even say probably, she's been through the worst parts of Kendall's stuff.
Mhm.
So for him to just kind of come in and then take advantage of the fact that she's allowing him to be in her space like that, it rubbed me the wrong way. I don't like it. Maybe he just paid a whole lot of money and she like, money's good. Not a big deal.
Yeah, pretty nice apartment
Mm.
for New York. So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, she might be all right, Naomi. She might be. The Shakespeare thing was weird, but everybody has their traditions.
Yeah, that was very weird. But then again, this is like the liberal, like Roy family, so that's very much what people would do at a liberal table, a liberal elite table.
That is
Excuse me.
true. That is true. That is true. Do you think this works out for Kendall?
Of course not. Never, nothing ever works out for Kendall. No.
It can't work out for Kendall. Do you think Shiv becomes what she wants to at the end? Does she stay with Roy? And I mean, yeah, does she stay with Logan and just kind of stick it out? Because this isn't like we have to keep in mind. This is the third time that he's passed her up because it was for Kendall. Then for what was her name last season? Miss Incredible, Mrs. Incredible,
Oh yeah, Holly Rhea. Yeah, Holly Hunter's
Rhea,
character.
and then now Jerry.
Mhm.
So does
Let
she
me tell you.
stick around for him to pull it again?
let me tell you what I like the most about this show. Like if you like if something came up on my phone right now. By the way, shout out to Why the Last Man got canceled. But anyway, if something comes up on my phone and says, "Hey, this is the last season of Succession," I would have no idea how it ends. I would have no idea who would be the successor. No idea. And so, but that's part of the excitement because, like, by all accounts, yeah, it should be Shiv. Like, I mean, it should be Shiv, but at the same time, you kind of know it won't be.
It's gonna be Roman. It's gonna be
It might not.
Roman.
It might not be anybody.
It's
Like
gonna be
this show might end with an asteroid hitting Earth and just everything go like just being
yeah.
decimated.
Or
Like
Waystar just burned to the ground. Yeah, something like that. You ain't lying. Nobody's a successor. Nobody. It's over.
nobody.
Fuck off.
Yeah, fuck
That's how the
off.
show ends. Logan dies and then has a video reading his last will and testament, and then says, like,
Just fuck off.
none of you were killers. This is the end. Fuck off.
That
And
you
then
know what
showed fade to black.
that would really be how this show is.
Fade to black. It'd
Like
be
like
awesome.
like like they the family is gathering around for his last will and testament. You know, the Jerry and the attorneys are there. They unseal the document, and these are Logan's final words. Fuck
You
off.
lose. No, you
You
lose.
lose.
Fuck
You
off.
lose.
You lose. Fuck off. And the end.
The end.
Greatest role, fade to black. We just all sitting there like, bravo. Bravo. Give it all the awards. Yeah.
Ugh.
Is this season 8 episodes? 10 episodes?
I feel like it's 9. It's like 8 or 9. I can't remember.
I'll be a president accounted for every single episode. I tell you that.
Every single episode. But yeah, hopefully you join us for each
Stop.
recap. So yeah, 9. So yeah, hopefully you join us for each recap. We like like I said earlier this week, this show gives us joy. That's why we're watching it. So yeah,
Yes.
we're we're gonna have a lot of fun recapping this show. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about the characters, about the way the season is going. But yeah, just join us every week. I'll try to have these out like Monday morning of every week.
Okay.
Just join us for the recaps. But yeah,
Ambitious are we?
yeah. But yeah, McDeedus OG and I'm Run and we're out.
And we ain't playing.
All right, peace.